I used to work the night shift at a small grocery store in my town. It wasn't a dangerous area, but it was quiet, and the parking lot was always empty after midnight. My shift ended at 2 a.m., and since I didn't own a car, I usually walked home. It wasn't too far, maybe a 15-minute walk. One night, my manager asked me to stay a little longer to help close up. By the time I left, it was closer to 3 a.m. The parking lot was completely deserted, except for one car I didn't recognize. It was parked far away from the store, under a broken light. I didn't think much of it until I noticed someone sitting inside. The windows were tinted, but the faint glow of a phone lit up their face for a second. It was a man, and he was staring directly at me. I quickly looked away and started walking faster toward the sidewalk. But the sound of a car door opening made my stomach drop. I glanced back and saw the man slowly stepping out. He was tall, thin, and wearing a hoodie. I told myself not to panic. Maybe he was just heading somewhere else. But then I noticed he wasn't walking toward the store. He was walking in my direction. I pulled my hood over my head and pretended to be on my phone. I could hear his footsteps getting closer and faster. My heart was pounding. "Hey," he called out. His voice was low and rough. "You got a minute?" I ignored him and kept walking. That's when he shouted louder, "I'm talking to you." I didn't respond. Instead, I started running. My street wasn't far, but the sound of his footsteps started chasing after me. The worst part? I could hear him laughing. When I turned the corner to my block, I thought I had lost him. I ran straight to my apartment, fumbling with my keys. Just as I got inside, I looked back through the small window in the door. He was standing across the street, half hidden behind a tree, just staring at my building. I locked every door, every window, and didn't sleep that night. The next day, I told my manager about it. He said the store's cameras probably caught something. We checked the footage together. The video showed me leaving the store, walking across the lot, and the man stepping out of his car to follow me. But here's the part that still makes my blood run cold. The man had been sitting in that car for over 4 hours, just waiting. He didn't buy anything, didn't go into the store, didn't even move. He just sat there until I walked out. I never saw him again after that night. But sometimes, when I'm walking home late, I can't help but feel like someone is still waiting in the dark, watching me.
I drive for a ride-sharing app to make some extra money. Most of the time, my nights are pretty uneventful. Just picking up drunk people from bars or giving someone a late ride home. But one night, I had an experience that still keeps me awake. It was around 1:30 a.m. on a cold Friday. I got a ping for a pickup just outside of town. Normally, I avoid rural pickups that late at night, but I needed the money, so I accepted. The GPS led me down a long, winding road lined with trees. No streetlights, no houses, just miles of dark woods. Eventually, I reached a small pull-off where the pin was dropped. A woman was standing there, shivering in the cold, wearing a long coat. She got in quietly and gave me an address about 20 minutes away. Her voice was soft, almost a whisper. I tried making small talk, but she didn't say much. She just kept staring out the window into the trees. After a few minutes, I noticed something strange in the rearview mirror. Her face looked wrong, like pale and tired with deep dark circles under her eyes. I tried not to stare, but it made me uncomfortable. As we drove, she suddenly said, "Don't take the highway, stay on the back roads." That was weird, but I agreed. I followed the dark, twisting back roads, trying to act normal. Then, halfway through the ride, she asked me a question that sent chills down my spine. "Have you ever wondered what it's like to die in these woods?" I laughed nervously, thinking she was joking. She didn't smile. She just kept staring straight ahead. The address she gave me eventually led to an old farmhouse. But when I pulled into the driveway and turned around to tell her we'd arrived, the back seat was empty. I swear I hadn't stopped the car, I hadn't heard the door open. She was just gone. My heart dropped. I sat there frozen, looking around with the engine running. Then I noticed something in the driveway, a small wooden cross stuck in the ground with flowers around it. It looked like a roadside memorial. I got out and read the writing on the cross. It had a name carved into it, the same name that matched the rider's profile on my app. The date of death was exactly 1 year earlier that night. I left immediately and never picked up rides outside of town again. And to this day, when I check my trip history, that ride doesn't even exist.
When I was in college, I rented a small apartment near campus. It wasn't fancy, but it was cheap and close enough to walk 2 classes. The building was old, the kind with creaky floors and peeling paint, but I didn't mind. The landlord was an older man who lived on the first floor. He gave me the keys, showed me around, and told me one rule: don't open the locked door at the end of the hall. I thought that was strange, but I assumed it was just for storage. For the first few weeks, everything was fine. I studied, slept, and lived like normal. But every night around 2 or 3 a.m., I started hearing noises from behind that locked door. It sounded like scratching. Sometimes it was faint tapping. Other times, it was a slow dragging sound, like furniture being moved. One night, I was walking to the bathroom when I noticed something. The bottom of the locked door had scratch marks, deep grooves in the wood, as if something had clawed at it from the inside. The next morning, I asked the landlord about it. He looked at me very seriously and just said, "Don't ask questions you don't want answers to. Just stay out of that room." I didn't push it, but the noises got worse. One night, I woke up to what sounded like whispering on the other side of the door. I leaned closer, and I swear I heard my own name being whispered. That was the moment I decided I needed to know what was inside. A week later, when the landlord wasn't around, I tried my key on the door. To my surprise, it worked. The lock clicked, and the door creaked open. The room was pitch black, and the smell hit me immediately: rot mold and something metallic, like blood. I shined my phone's flashlight inside. There was a bed against the wall, stained dark, chains bolted into the floor, and on the walls, dozens of photographs of me. Some were taken through my window, some when I was walking to class, and others while I was asleep in my own bed. My stomach dropped, I stumbled back and nearly fell. Then I heard footsteps coming up the stairs. Heavy, fast footsteps. I slammed the door shut and ran into my apartment, locking it. I heard the landlord's voice on the other side of the hall, whispering something I couldn't understand. And then the scratching noises started again, this time from right outside my door. I didn't stay the night. I packed what I could and left, moving in with a friend. Later, I tried calling the police, but when they checked, the landlord was gone. The room was empty, scrubbed clean. No bed, no photos, nothing. But I know what I saw. And sometimes, when I'm alone at night, I swear I can still hear the scratching.